salary adjustment for technical profession to be given priority. MDAC relaxation until 31st December. Well, salam Malaysia Madani. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Well, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim today gave assurance that the salary adjustment for technical profession in the public service will be given priority in the Public Service Remuneration System or SSPA study.
Speaking at the National Technical Profession Day 2023 celebration, the Premier said his presence at the event was to recognise the role of technical professionals in line with the current situation and economic growth.
Sesuai dengan pengiktirafan itu, saya telah beri komitmen kalau tak jalan salah KSN. Iaitu dalam pelarasan gaji, peranan golongan profesi teknikal itu harus diberikan tempat yang sewajarnya.
Accordingly, Datuk Seri Anwar, who is also the Finance Minister, asked the technical profession governing body to submit reasonable input relating to salary adjustment through the SSPA. Since 2018, the National Technical Profession Day has been celebrated annually on the first Saturday of December as an appreciation and recognition of the services contributed by the technical profession in the national development landscape.
Well, foreigners wishing to enter the country are given the flexibility until 31st December to fill in the Malaysia Digital Arrival Card or MDAC at the country's checkpoints.
Speaking at a press conference after inspecting the implementation of the Visa Liberalisation Plan at Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA Terminal 1 today, Home Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said that from 1st January 2024, foreigners will be required to fill in the digital card 2 or 3 days before arriving in the country.
Mengisi digital arrival card itu ada suatu kemestian yang mereka mesti penuhi sebab maklumat dalam digital arrival card memberi kita maklumat penting seumpama keberadaan mereka. Mereka berada di mana, alamatnya di mana dan sebagainya. Ini adalah langkah penting untuk kita mengetahui tentang keberadaan sepanjang mereka berada di sini.
In the meantime, Datuk Seri Saifuddin said relaxation and MDAC exemptions are given mainly to individuals who are repeat travellers at the country's borders. Besides Singaporeans, also exempted from filling MDAC are holders of permanent Malaysian passports and Malaysian long-term passes, holders of Brunei Common Identification Certificates or GCI, and Brunei Malaysia Frequent Traveller Facility, holders of Thai border passes and Indonesian cross-border passes.
The provision of e-wallet credit of 100 ringgit under e-Madani to 10 million Malaysians is not expected to cause a rise in inflation in the country. Now, Deputy Finance Minister 1, Datuk Seri Ahmad Mazlan, said this is because the total amount of 1 billion ringgit allocated for this initiative is very little when compared to the gross domestic product or GDP.
In fact, he said the 1 billion ringgit provision will provide multiplicative returns in the money market due to the multiplier effect. As such, he said it will not affect the national GDP of the country, which currently stands at 1.8 trillion ringgit. E-Madani is an initiative from the Ministry of Finance, the MOF, launched to promote the digital economy and foster cashless payment culture, expected to benefit 10 million eligible adults. Registrations have been opened starting yesterday and will continue until 20th February next year. Datuk Seri Ahmad advised members of the public not to rush to redeem the e-credit as the sudden influx of requests may cause congestion and the redemption period is still long.
Well, micro, small and medium entrepreneurs, or MSME, who were affected by the floods can apply to postpone their loan repayments for up to 3 months. Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives Minister Dato' Ewan Benedict said the measure was critical towards helping affected entrepreneurs get back on their feet.
kita mempunyai dasar untuk membenarkan penangguhan pembayaran sehingga 3 bulan misalnya. Sekiranya premis perniagaan ataupun tempat operasi mereka itu berniaga terjejas dengan banjir, dan saya meminta kepada agensi-agensi sekiranya menerima permohonan daripada usahawan-usahawan PMKS peminjam kepada agensi-agensi bawah kementerian untuk meneliti dan mempertimbangkan permohonan mereka.
He said this after a working visit to Menara Bank Rakyat in Johor Bahru. The postponement of repayments involved loans such as Tekun Nasional, Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia and the Malaysian Cooperatives Commission.
Well, 7 strategies have been devised to continue the momentum of recovery for the country's tourism industry. Deputy Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture of Mortak, Khairul Firdaus Akbar Khan, said this includes strategic partnership with beneficiaries, the organisation of world-class events, as well as improvements to infrastructures.
He said a special incentive will also be introduced to ensure the involvement of corporate sectors in making the Visit Malaysia Year 2026 a success.
Membangunkan sektor pelancongan domestik dengan memfokuskan kepada aktiviti-aktiviti pelancongan seperti ekopelancongan, seni dan budaya di seluruh negara yang menyediakan pengalaman yang unik dan menarik akan diperkiatkan lagi. Saya nombor 6.
He said this in response to an inquiry by Senator Tuan Nik Muhammad Abdul Aziz in the Dewan Negara. The ministry, he said, is always prepared to welcome international tourists in line with the Visit Malaysia Year 2026 program. The development of the national tourism industry is also parallel with the aspirations of the Madani government.
Well, Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Ri'aituddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah today granted an audience to Vice Prime Minister of Timor-Leste, Francesco Calbuadile, at Istana Negara. Calbuadile arrived at the palace at 2:20 p.m. and spent about 30 minutes meeting the king as part of his 4-day working visit beginning Sunday.
Also present at the session were Foreign Minister Dato Sri Dr. Zamri Abdul Kadir, Foreign Ministry Secretary General Dato Sri Amran Mohammad Zain, and Timor-Leste Ambassador to Malaysia Joanna Veneranda Amaral. Calbuadile's visit is expected to further strengthen and enhance the bilateral relationship between the two countries and demonstrate Malaysia's support for the full membership of Timor-Leste into ASEAN. In 2022, the total bilateral trade between Malaysia and Timor-Leste was 384.48 million ringgit, equivalent to $90.2 million, an increase of 93.3% compared to 2021.
Agro-commodities brace for new challenges in 2024. Well, the country's agro-commodity sector is expected to face challenges next year involving rules and regulations at the global scale. Now, Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Fadillah Yusof, who is also the Minister of Plantation and Commodities, said the agro-commodity sector will face the European Union, the EU, deforestation regulation, EUDR, moving forward.
Ini menjadi cabaran pada kita di samping peraturan-peraturan baru yang perlu kita patuhi yang diperkenalkan oleh negara-negara pengimport produk-produk kita. Jadi menyedari keadaan ini, apa yang kita nak fokuskan ialah bagaimana kita nak luaskan pasaran produk-produk kita di negara-negara lain selain daripada negara yang biasa mengimport produk kita untuk kita kembangkan.
He said this while officiating the National Agro-Commodities Day event in Putrajaya today. As of September this year, the agro-commodities sector has contributed 5% or 60 billion ringgit towards the country's gross domestic product or GDP. Considering the agro-commodities sector as the main pillar of the country's economy, Dato Sri Fadillah said Malaysia needs to maintain the momentum of the sector so that the commodities produced can compete in the global market.
The sustainability of the media industry, empowerment of digital economy and Internet of Infrastructure issue resolution in remote areas will be among the focus of the Communications and Digital Ministry or KKD next year. Now, Minister Fahmi Fadil said he viewed the sustainability of the media industry as a key to ensuring that authentic news is obtained from professional sources.
Kita dah lihat dan saksikan bagaimana ekonomi digital mampu merubah nasib ya bagi mereka yang berminat, terlibat dan boleh berjaya. Usahawan terutamanya, tapi untuk tahun kedua ni saya nak fokus bukan hanya kepada usahawan. Ya, jadi banyak bidang yang sebenarnya kita boleh manfaatkan sama ada contoh e-pembelajaran ataupun e-kesihatan ya, dengan internet yang baik dan laju, data yang selamat ya, dan keadaan keselamatan cyber yang terkawal, banyak manfaat yang boleh kita capai. Jadi untuk tahun kedua inilah yang akan menjadi fokus, merancakkan penerima gunaan ekonomi digital di kalangan rakyat.
He also said that the national 5G network coverage is expected to reach 80% soon. As of 31st October, the 5G network coverage has reached 73% of populated areas in the country.
Well, a total of 2,540 business matching sessions have been conducted through the MyAssist MSME platform, with a potential sales value of 904 million ringgit since the platform was launched on 30th June 2021.
Deputy Entrepreneur, Development and Cooperatives Minister Saraswati Kandasamy said the sum involved a total of 3,083 micro, small and medium enterprises or MSMEs with 259 foreign companies. She said MyAssist MSME was developed by the Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives Ministry through SME Corp. It is an online one-stop business advisory service platform aimed at facilitating the acquisition of information for MSME entrepreneurs about programs offered by entrepreneurship development agencies.
Platform ini juga menyediakan khidmat nasihat dalam talian daripada kaunselor perniagaan, MIPMI dan perkhidmatan padanan perniagaan kepada usahawan. Sehingga Oktober 2023, 1.2 juta capaian pengunjung dan pengguna maya dari seluruh negara telah direkodkan melalui platform MyAssist MSME. Selain itu, sebanyak 11,724 slot khidmat nasihat MIPMI telah disediakan dan memberi manfaat kepada 713 orang usahawan PMKS.
1.2
The Deputy Minister added that to increase awareness of MyAssist MSME among micro, small and medium entrepreneurs, the Ministry through SME Corp took several initiatives including providing facilities to browse MyAssist MSME through a smartphone application that can be downloaded through the Apple Store and Google Play Store.
Well, national car maker Proton Holdings Berhad sold 12,296 units in November, bringing its year-to-date or YTD figure for the first 11 months of 2023 to 141,900 units for the domestic and export markets. Well, notably, Proton has already surpassed the sales volume of the entire previous year's 141,432 units.
Proton, through a release statement, said the Proton S70 has surpassed 900 per week in bookings, bringing total bookings for the car to over 3,000 units, while the Proton X series, consisting of the X50, X70 and X90 models, have reached the remarkable milestone of 201,710 units on the road. Meanwhile, the Proton X50, a front-runner in the B-segment SUV category, contributed significantly to November's success with 2,115 units sold, and since its launch, a total of 102,325 units were sold. Proton's Pies models Persona, Iris, Exora, and Saga continue to record impressive growth compared to YTD 2022 with a 34.3% growth. Proton Saga remains the highest seller, taking the lead with 6,349 units sold, the second highest for the year, showcasing its enduring popularity among Malaysian car buyers. Proton Edar Sendirian Berhad Chief Executive Officer Roslan Abdullah said the company is confident in delivering a strong finish this year and getting cars into the hands of the customers before the year concludes.
Well, MIDF Amanah Investment Berhad, or MIDF Research, expects Malaysia's domestic demand to stay supportive of growth buoyed by the positive labour market, encouraging recovery of the tourism sector and moderating inflation.
The research house said the country's retail sales registered a 2.7% growth in the third quarter of 2023, beating expectations amid inflation concerns and even surpassing the estimated 1.4% year-on-year growth. Meanwhile, in a separate research note, the firm has downgraded the consumer sector to neutral from positive, despite the continuous strong out-of-home consumption of food and beverages, or F&B, and sustained demand for staple food. MIDF said prices of all global commodities for F&B producers in November were trending below their two-year peak levels. However, it noted that there had been a rebound in the average three-month futures global commodity prices for key raw ingredients in F&B production, including raw sugar, white sugar, cocoa, robusta, and Arabica. Thus, MIDF projected that fluctuations in certain global commodity prices, namely coffee, cocoa, and sugar for F&B manufacturers next year, would likely continue in the near term.
Well, global capital expenditures, or CapEx, for the oil and gas, that's the ONG industry, are forecast to reach $606.6 billion in 2024, a growth of 0.5% year-on-year, following an expected growth of 5.1% for 2023.
Fitch Solutions Unit BMI said its 2024 growth outlook was based on the cautious approach to investing pursued by ONG companies amid growing market uncertainty and softening energy prices. BMI said elevated interest rates add to obstacles for new ONG investment in 2024, as reduced profit margins on high capital projects would delay final investment decisions. It added that while the pain of higher interest varies across the spectrum of companies in the industry, those reliant on financing are likely to feel the brunt of higher rates. BMI said project optimization and cost reductions are helping to reduce project capital outlays, but the higher interest rates are forcing the need for higher returns to offset the burden of greater financing costs. Meanwhile, elections are set to be held in several key ONG producers and demand centers over 2024, including the United Kingdom, United States, India, South Africa, Mexico, Russia, and Venezuela.
Still ahead, 2029 visitors on first day of new visa-free policy. Well, the National Immigration Administration of China, on the first day of the policy's implementation, recorded a total of 2,029 citizens from the aforementioned 6 countries entered China visa-free. In a significant move to boost tourism and promote international exchanges, China officially implemented a visa-free entry policy for citizens holding ordinary passports from 6 countries, namely France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Spain, and Malaysia.
China announced that from 1st December 2023 to 30th November 2024, holders of ordinary passports from the above-mentioned countries may enter China visa-free for business, tourism, visiting relatives and friends in transit for no more than 15 days. Among these, Malaysian citizens accounted for the highest number, with 1,113 individuals entering China without a visa. French citizens followed with 227 entries, showing the most significant daily increase among the 6 countries, with a growth rate of 52.31%. the visa-free policy aims to streamline travel procedures, making it more convenient for citizens of these countries to visit China for purposes such as tourism, business and family visits. As the visa-free policy takes effect, it opens up new opportunities for global travelers, and the initial positive response suggests a potential increase in international visits to China.
Well, at least 14 people died and 35 others were injured when a passenger tour bus veered off the road and collided with a tree in South Thailand's Prachuap Khiri Khan province. Now, the bus was traveling from the national capital Bangkok to Nathawi district, Songkhla province. Official investigations into the cause of the crash are underway.
A bus lost control and crashed into a tree in Thailand, killing 14 passengers and injuring 35 others. The bus front was split in half after the crash, according to state broadcaster Thai PBS. The state-owned transport company, in a statement on Tuesday, said the accident occurred in the country's western province of Prachuap Khiri Khan at midnight. Rescuers spent several hours pulling the dead and the wounded out of the bus, according to the Sawang Prachuap Dhammat Sathan Foundation, which supported the operation. The cause of Monday night's crash has not been confirmed, but police suspect the driver may not have had enough sleep. He was badly injured but survived. Thailand has one of the world's highest road accident rates, leading to thousands of deaths every year. Many attribute this to poor safety standards on the country's busy roads.
Coming up in sports, Rasmi advises new double stars to stay firmly grounded. Stay with us.
Dengan misi mesti menang, semangat perjuangan terus diledakkan dalam setiap pertembungan. 14 pasukan, satu sorakan. Liga Super 2023 bersama kami di RTM, rakan penyiar MFL Liga Malaysia 2023.
Academy Badminton Malaysia ABM Coaching Director Rasmi Mainaki has reminded men's doubles players Chong Hon Jian and Muhammad Haikal Nazri to keep their feet planted firmly on the ground despite clinching their maiden title in the 2023 Syed Modi International Badminton Championships in Lucknow, India on Sunday.
Rasmi said they should feel contented with winning the Super 300 tournament at the Babu Banarasi Das Indoor Stadium and challenge them to continue to perform consistently in future tournaments. Rasmi, however, is impressed to see Hon Jian and Muhammad Haikal, who were only paired up in August, produce such a positive impact by bagging their first title in such a short time, in addition to stunning higher-ranked opponents. In the Syed Modi International Final, the unseeded Hon Jian and Muhammad Haikal bounced back from a first-game defeat to stun top seeds Akira Koga and Taichi Saito of Japan 18-21, 21-18, 21-16. Their best achievement before Sunday's win was finishing as runners-up in the Indonesia Masters 2 in Surabaya in October.
Well, national singles shuttler Ng Ziyong can make life easier for himself and the national coaches if he can use the 4 tournaments he's been entered for early next year to confirm his place in the 2024 Paris Olympics. Well, national men's singles coach Hendrawan said that if Ziyong, age 23, can achieve positive results in these 4 tournaments, he will brighten his chances of making his Olympic debut in Paris.
Ziyong is set to begin his 2024 campaign by playing in the Malaysia Open, the India Open, the Indonesia Masters and the Thailand Masters. Hendrawan said they would take steps to ensure the 23-year-old can get good results in the 4 tournaments, besides drawing up plans to ease his workload after that so that he will be in good shape for the Olympics. So far, the Johor-born shuttler is in 13th spot with 57,080 points in the Race to Paris ranking, 3 places behind national professional shuttler Li Zijia. According to the format, each country is allowed to field 2 representatives in the singles event at the Olympics, provided both shuttlers are in the top 16 of the Race to Paris ranking. The Race to Paris qualifiers, which began in May, will end next April, and the 2024 Paris Olympics will be from 26 July to 11th August.
Well, National Tower running ace saw Wai Ching seal another title to his impressive collection as he powered his way to conquer the 10th Canton Tower run-up in Guangzhou, China on Sunday. Now, the 29-year-old completed 2,738 steps to reach the summit of the 450-meter-long tower and recorded 14 minutes and 23 seconds to break the previous course mark held by China's Zheng Wenbo.
Wenbo had to settle for second place while his compatriot Li Zhizhen emerged as the third best. Wai Ching on social media said he's proud to fly the Malaysian flag on top of the podium at the Canton Tower and at the same time break the course record from 14 minutes 36 seconds down to 14 minutes 23 seconds. However, Wai Ching missed out a glorious chance to claim double victory in Guangzhou on Sunday as he clinched a second place with 16 minutes 36 seconds behind the champion from China, Yi Zhaobang, with a time of 16 minutes 23 seconds in the 2023 International Vertical Marathon Final at Guangzhou CTF Finance Center Station. Wenbo completed the podium with a time of 17 minutes 14 seconds.
Well, former world number one Rafael Nadal said he expects nothing from himself before his return to the courts next month. Well, Nadal, 37, has been out with a hip injury since last January, but is set to feature at Brisbane in the new year.
The Spaniard will use the tournament as a warm-up to the Australian Open in Melbourne, having slumped to 663rd in the world before starting his final year before his expected retirement.
Tengo y he tenido miedo de anunciar las cosas porque al final es un año sin competir y es una operación de cadera. Pero lo que más me preocupa no es la cadera, ¿no? Sino es todo lo demás. Creo que estoy preparado y confío y espero que las cosas vayan bien y que me dé la oportunidad de poder disfrutar en la pista otra vez. Al final es mucho tiempo, con lo cual espero, lo primero, pues sentir otra vez esos nervios, esa ilusión, esos miedos, esas dudas. Y espero de mí no esperar nada. Esta es la verdad.
Since being sidelined, Nadal has been overtaken in the number of Grand Slam tournaments won by Serbian world number one Novak Djokovic, who now has 24 major titles. Nadal will try to return to the highest level in Australia with the aim of competing at the French Open, which he has won a record 14 times.
Well, there is no plan B for the opening ceremony of the Paris 2024 Olympic Summer Games, according to the French sports minister on Monday, after a man armed with a knife and hammer killed a German tourist and left two people wounded near the Eiffel Tower on Saturday. Emilio de Castier told France Inter Radio that officials have no plan B, as there remains a plan in which there are several sub-plans with a certain number of adjustment variables.
Anti-terrorism prosecutor Jean-François Ricard on Sunday said that the 26-year-old suspect, a French national arrested after the attack, had pledged allegiance to terrorism in a video recorded beforehand. The attack occurred on the Quai de Grenelle, a spot also included in the plans for the opening ceremony, and asked if the government was mulling a chance to its plan to hold the ceremony on the river Seine, with several 100,000 spectators expected along its banks amid the security threats. The minister said it was not being worked on by the government.
Well, that's it from us this evening. In our top story, salary adjustment for technical profession to be given priority. And a program reminder, tune in to TV Terima PM, a special session with the Prime Minister on the Madani government's first year anniversary coming up right after this. And from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thanks for watching.